If you're looking to get up and running building .NET applications in seconds with an instant dev environment that's completely free, then look no further because I'm going to break down everything that you need to know about Codespaces and the new .NET template that enables you to one-click get a Blazor front end and a .NET API backend up and running. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm James, and today we are talking about GitHub Codespaces. That's right, the instant dev environment that enables you to build applications directly in the browser with a VS Code-like setup. It's really, really awesome. And there's a brand new .NET template that enables you to one-click get a Blazor front end with a .NET API backend that's talking to each other. It's really, really neat. If you've never used Codespaces before, they run on this concept of like dev containers, which enable you to configure a container, if you will, of what's required to run your application. So that might be the .NET SDK, for example, and whatever the Docker image is, and any of the other SDK components that you need. But inside that dev container are other things, including what extensions you might need for VS Code, for example, including the new C# dev kit. So with all this combined, what's really neat is that you can spin up a virtual sort of dev environment in the cloud inside of GitHub. It gives you that instant dev environment. And this is neat because that sort of dev container infrastructure is checked into your source code, which is super duper cool. And then additionally, you can take it a step further by connecting to your Codespace from Visual Studio Code, which is super bananas. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so what you want to do is head over to github.com/codespaces. Boom. And this is where you're going to see a getting started. Here, I don't have any Codespaces. It says, what do you want to do? What do you want to find? There's a bunch of quick start templates here, including the .NET one, which is pretty rad. But if you're looking to build React or get started with Jupyter Notebook, there's a bunch there. You can click on templates and you'll see a bunch more. So of course you have the .NET one, you have Next.js, you have Express, a Flask one, Django one, you have all this goodness built in. All you got to do if you want to start building applications with .NET in a GitHub Codespace is select use this template. This is now going to scaffold and set up my entire Codespace in seconds. It's going to give me this URL that's unique to me. And now what it's going to do is open a remote connection and get everything scaffolded up for me. Now this template isn't blank. It actually has a backend and a front end. Now this entire environment, it spins up and automatically pauses and spins down automatically, which is really, really neat. And it takes just a few seconds to get spun up. So here we go. Already we can see inside of our Codespace over here, we have a few files, including this dev container file. There we go. And some icons, a VS Code folder, and even a backend and front end application right here. Let's go ahead and see what's in it. So I'm just going to pull this down here and we can see, oh, this is beautiful. Nice README. GitHub Codespace loves .NET 8. It's .NET 8ified right away. It shows you how to use everything, the dev container here, and even shows you how to get up and running with one click. So that's really, really nice. And that's what we're going to see. So cool. So what's inside of here? First and foremost is this dev container JSON. This is what's going to give it the configuration. So we can see the .NET 8 image here. We can see some features that are enabled like Docker here, GitHub CLI, PowerShell, AZD. We also see some customization. So kind of the team put together everything that you need, including GitHub Actions, Copilot, VS Code, C# Dev Kit, C# extension as well. They forward some ports and they even give you sort of some setup commands here to run .NET Restore when done and also set up the environment and everything that you need. And this one here is giving me 4 CPUs and 8 gigs of RAM, which is cool. We also get some just like general launch configurations for our backend and our front end, which are nice. So if you're used to VS Code, that'll give you that. And also this is using the C# dev kit, so you get the default solution and some tasks as well. Now here, this is just the folders over here, but I can actually go into the solution explorer and pull that up top, and that's that C# dev kit there. That's actually going to show me the entire backend and front end solution, which is really neat. So here we kind of get that Visual Studio-esque solution and multi-project support. And here we can see that this is a standard .NET API using minimal APIs with a single map get here of the weather forecast, which is really neat. course, I can do control space, and I'm just going to increase my font size. Let's say 24 and go back over. Oh, it's beautiful. It's ginormous. I love it. Cool. All right. So this is going to return random data. And if we look at the front end over here, we have a Blazor application. So this is using the server side Blazor mode. This is configuring the weather forecast client. This has a nice little URL over here for the builder, and it just does standard Blazor-y stuff. We have a single page over here of fetch data. So that will go and get the weather forecast, and then down below, it's going to go ahead and initialize and grab that weather. We can actually look at the data, and there's the client over here, which is going to pull that information from the JSON, which is nice, and everything's dependency injected. All right, cool. So now what we can do is we can go over to the run and debug menu, and there is a run all option. If I do a drop down, we can see that the configured for backend or front end, but you can also do run all. So I'm going to just do run all. And what this is going to do, it's just going to compile up this Blazor front end and the back end as well. So that's really, really neat. It's going to run these automatically, both of the projects. So here we're going to see that there's applications running in this port. I'm going to say open in browser. And then here I'm also going to allow this to always open up for me. So I can just automatically launch it and refresh this here. Now this should be my backend. So if I go to /swagger over here, we should see my Swagger front end, which is pretty cool. And we can see that we have the get weather. I can try it out, hit execute. If I go into my backend over here, let me just go ahead and open that up. And I just put a breakpoint into this map. I can go ahead and hit execute again. It's going to hit that breakpoint, which is super cool. Just debugging, don't have anything on my machine installed, just in the browser over here. It's going to return that back. Now that launched the back end, but we also have the front end as well. If I come over here to ports, we're going to see all the ports that were automatically opened for me, and they're forwarded. So you can see I have like this friendly garbanzo, blah, 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 port 8080. That's the forwarded port from localhost that gives me this public URL. I can also come down here to the weather front end and click on the open in browser. Now this is going to open up the Blazor application, but we can see actually in the tab that there's a little red dot because this has hit a breakpoint. So here, let's make sure that we hit the breakpoints. And sure enough, we have our weather forecast because our backend and our front end are running here. So here we go. Just literally in seconds, I created this template, it's optimized, it's up and running. I have everything that I want, which is really, really cool. I can come back in, I can stop debugging on my back end and my front end, and I'm totally good to go. Now, when I come back over here, we can see that if I refresh this, I have this created from a template, and I have this over here. I have everything going on. Now, what's really neat is if I go into VS Code over here, if I have the GitHub Codespaces extension installed, I can actually click on this little remote and say connect to Codespace. Since I'm logged in with GitHub, it's going to show me my Codespace that's running right here. I'm going to go ahead and tap on it. This is going to kind of refresh and reload VS Code. And what it's going to do is connect to that remote environment. Here I can see that I have the dev container like we would expect, and I have all of my different files and everything like that there. But we can also see that the Solution Explorer is there. And we see that I have all the extensions and things like that that are getting up and running and installed and all that goodness inside here in the Codespace. So you can kind of mash those two things together. Now, what's really neat is you can still run and debug. So here I'm just in VS Code running debugging over here. This is going to forward ports accordingly back to my machine. So here we have all of our ports, everything happening. And then this is going to launch in the browser the website that's up and running there, which is super cool. And it also ran the Swagger, which is also here running the same forecast as well. So the same application running inside of VS Code inside of the Codespace. All right, there is so much more that you can do with GitHub Codespaces, right? I showed you here with the new templates, one click, get up and running, building a .NET backend and a front end. You have the full capabilities basically in the Codespace, doing all your C#.NET goodness, which is really, really rad. You can then, of course, bring it down locally. Now, I could then, of course, just have this on GitHub, right? It's just going to be there. I could then pull it down and do local development inside of VS Code or Visual Studio 2022 or whatever IDE you want to use. So it's super easy to get up and running. You can use Codespaces completely free, get it all up and running inside of GitHub and just start coding right away, which I love. I've actually been adding Codespaces to a lot of new things that I've been working on, and the team's building a whole bunch of cool new Microsoft Learn modules using Codespaces too. Just really easy to get everyone up and going and learning. If you've tried Codespaces at all, let me know your favorite feature. I've just been really dabbling in them in this last 6 or 7 months or so. I've been really enjoying them and creating dev containers to really maximize my efficiency when I'm going between machines. All right, that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Something a little bit different than I normally do, but this thing just came out. It's super cool. And I love how it works so seamlessly with all the new C# dev kit stuff. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to jam that subscribe button and also ring that notification bell so you get up to date every single time a new video drops here on my channel. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.